Here we are at Epcot, the experimental prototype community of tomorrow, or at least that's what it originally stood for. So unfortunately, Walt's dream was never realized to its full potential. However, they did do a good job of making the World Showcase, bringing the world culture together to celebrate all the different main cultures from around the world. And at all these different locations around the World Showcase, you can get cultural artifacts as well as memorabilia and clothing that are all handmade and or manufactured in their home countries. So the World Showcase is really cool. Spaceship Earth. Let's go check out Epcot, guys. So we're about to go into the land and check out Soaring and Living with the Land, which is a great hydroponics tour throughout the land. Shows you the different gardens and hydroponics that they're using at Epcot and Walt Disney World. Also inside the land is a omni-moving restaurant. It actually rotates in a circle and it overlooks the gardens and Living with the Land. So it's really cool, the Garden View restaurant. It also is a family style restaurant, so if you want to feel just like at home, eat there. It's a great place, all fresh produce from their gardens. It's a really awesome place, so let's check it out inside. So here it is, guys, Soarin' Over the World. You probably heard of it. You might have heard about it when it was Soarin' Over California. That was the original name when it launched in California Adventure, brought to Disney World here at the land, but now it is Soarin' Over the World. Originally, when this ride was pitched by the Imagineer who thought of the idea for the lift system for the hanging gliders, he actually used his child's erector set, of all things, to map it out to make sure it would actually work. So a simple child's toy is what innovated and created this ride. Check it out, guys. Soarin' Over the World.
Are exploring innovative ways to produce bountiful harvests now and into the future. Many are rich in vitamins and minerals, while others are well adapted to growing in less than ideal conditions. As a result, we're able to save millions of gallons each year to serve in restaurants.
This used to be the gator tank.
Innovations like this one can play an important role in our efforts to natural resources.
Hidden Mickey!
Innovative growing techniques like these increase yields while more efficiently using resources like water, fertilizer, and pesticides. Some of our best ideas have been inspired by nature, like these fruit and vegetable trees. The future of agriculture may include innovative ideas like this vertical growing system.
Spaceship Earth, guys. A lot of people don't know there's actually a ride inside the ball, but in the morning and evenings, that's when it's most frequented. So you're gonna have a line because people are coming in and out of the park, just hitting it when they're coming in or out. So the best time to hit it is actually in the afternoon, lunchtime. That's your best chance to just walk right on. No line.
Hundreds gathered.
Here we are at the Seas with Nemo and Friends. Originally, it was the Living Seas. It's really neat. You would go down a hydrovator. It actually looked like an elevator going down into the sea, which was really cool. But this is even better now, I think, because it's an omni-mover, so a lot more cycling gets through, as well as a fun little ride through the corals with Nemo and Friends. So let's take a look at the Seas.
I am not going to lose you again. Do you hear me?
I'm thinking of something pink and bouncy that looks like a balloon.
Ah, jellyfish!
Here we are in the living seas after riding with Nemo and Brandon down inside. As you can see, there are a diver actually going in right now, one of the tanks. That's something they've been doing since the fruition of living seas. They've actually been putting divers in the tanks live. So another fun note about this aquarium, when it was originally built, it was the largest in the world. Aquariums were not really a big thing, so that's yet another thing Walt Disney inspired and innovated as far as theme parks, water parks, and aquariums.
Make sure to come downstairs and check out the Coral Reef exhibit, where you can see all of the real-life versions of your friends from Finding Nemo, such as Dory and Nemo himself. Hey guys, we're here outside of Universe of Energy, a great ride hosted by Ellen DeGeneres and Bill Nye the Science Guy. Let's head on over for Ryan to tell us some cool facts about it.
So guys, as you can see, I had to change my clothes. It does get hot here in Florida, so you might want to bring an extra shirt, maybe an extra hat, depending how much you sweat. But we are here at Energy with Ellen and Bill Nye. It's a really awesome ride featuring basically how energy works. It goes through different fossil fuels as well as renewable energy. Some fun facts here, it will be closing soon, so you might want to come over and check it out before it does so. There has been some weather balloons and height markers spotted recently in this area, so soon it might turn into some sort of Guardians of the Galaxy ride. So if you haven't seen it yet, come check out Energy with Ellen DeGeneres and Bill Nye.
Fossil fuels for, let's go for 100. Who is it?
It's me, Bill Nye the Science Guy.
So here it is, the Food and Wine Pavilion, now housing a lot of different experiments of what used to be the Wonders of Life Pavilion. So let's take a look inside, see what's still the same. Probably everything's different, but there's going to be some small landmarks that I'm sure you'll still see. So one cool sculpture that used to be outside Wonders of Life was a double helix DNA strand. It would go up about 30-40 feet, but if you still look in the reflecting pond behind me, you can see pieces of the original foundation, which is really cool. Are at the main festival stage inside the building. Now, for all you main Disney fans that have been here in the past, might recognize this as Goofy About Health. It was a fun show sponsored by Goofy that talked about health and healthy living. So here it is, Goofy About Health, now festival stage. Here is the spotlight highlight stage, what used to be the anatomical stage. It was a fun, kid-friendly anatomical design. Talked about the body and how things work. And here it was at the anatomical stage. Behind me, covered up by this kitchen, was once the entrance to Cranium Command, a great animatronic show that had many different celebrities featured, from Dana Carvey as well as others, Robin Williams, a lot of great things. But it was about how your body worked, how the mind worked in relation to all the things inside, very similar to Inside Me, the movie that came out. But this is where it all started, Cranium Command, right here at Wonders of Life. Another familiar setting inside here is this long wall, which used to be a Body Wars mural. Over here, you can actually see the entranceway where you used to go in. It was very similar to Star Wars. It was a simulator ride, but instead of going through space, you go through the bloodstream in the body. It's very interesting, very innovative, but it did make a lot of people sick. So here it is in Skeleton Body Wars. Here we are, guys, journey into imagination with Figment, one of my favorite rides in all of Epcot next to Spaceship Earth. It celebrates imagination and creativity, two of the greatest things in all the world. Again, one of the things that was a staple of Walt Disney himself. So we're going to give you some fun facts around. There is a Magic Eye Theater where there was a few different movies that have played over the years. The ride itself has gone through 3 different renditions. It's not quite what it used to, but I still encourage you to check out Imagination if you can.
Professor Zelinsky, Professor Wayne Zelinsky.
So now, if you look over here, this big circular area, that actually used to house the intro to the ride, which was the Dreamfinder. It was a really cool carousel type motion. There was 5 different animatronics. That's right, 5, all identical. So that way, when you would ride it, you'd actually get your own show for everything.
Feet and legs inside your tour tram. Keep a watchful eye
So
on your
looking at
children
this little
and
emblem
their
on the back of the car, it actually resembles the original floor plan of the ride. You can actually see the 4 little markings, and each individual were actually where the Dreamfinder would go and actually rotate as you were watching the ride. So if you look at it, it's a sweet little homage to the original floor plan and the original ride, Imagination.
Drive-through open house. I'm Dr. Nigel Channing, Chairman of the Imagination Institute. Hello. On your tour, you'll see how I'm testing your hearing with a series of tones. Left ear, right ear.
It's about listening with your imagination.
Figment, this is not a good time.
It's always a good time to use your imagination, so let the good times roll. Woohoo! You win 1 cent.
Figment, don't! Oh, yeah.
It's open house.
Imagination is just turning your hearing upside down. And so, as you can plainly see, imagination works the best when it's set free.
You said it, Doc. Imagination is a blast.
Right at the start of everything that's new.
So this is really cool. You can conduct just by using your hand. So now coming around the corner of Imagination in the Image Works goes right into the gift shop, of course. But in the gift shop, there's a staircase that goes up. The This was actually my favorite part of Imagination in ImageWorks because there was the spectral tunnel, as I was saying, a little rainbow tunnel. The reason they made this into a vacation club lounge is because they did have a lot of issues with urban explorers going upstairs and checking out ImageWorks without consent. So now, Vacation Club Lounge. So right now we are above Journey into Imagination in the DVC Lounge, what used to be part of ImageWorks. Actually, if you look over here, there used to be a coloring book, digital coloring book section over there, and actually this whole wall was opened up into a whole other play area, similar to over here. You actually walk through that where the television is. There's a hallway with a spectral rainbow tunnel, which is really cool. One of Michael Jackson's favorite features here, which actually he was right next door in the Magic Eye Theater for Captain EO. It's not a waterfall, people. This is Imagination. It goes up, so it's a water jump, obviously. A really cool water feature at Epcot, much like the musically synced show in the center by the ball. But a cool thing right over here is Magic Eye Theater. Originally, it was a Michael Jackson show where he was almost like a captain, like Star Tours. He went to a planet where there's an evil queen plaguing the earth. And then, of course, with his song and dance, he brought good to everyone. It was a really cool show, super innovative, directed by George Lucas and Francis Ford Coppola. It was super innovative, 4D technology. Then it went to Honey, I Shrunk the Audience, a really cool Honey, I Shrunk the Kids experience, but instead the audience themselves were shrunk down. From there now they have Pixar shorts. So who knows what's going to go in there next, but if you want to check out your favorite Pixar shorts, there it is right there in 3D at the Magic Eye Theater. About to enter the World Showcase on the Canadian side. So this is Canada. As you can see, the sponsor, Remy the chef, you'll find him all over the showcase in each country. So if you want to do your own little scavenger hunt, that's some fun you can do. So let's take a look at all the food and drinks you can get around the world here at Epcot. So here we are now in England, right next to Canada. Kind of strange, but if we go across the street, there's the Rose and Crown pub where you can get some good English brew. You got Remy. We are at the African outpost on the World Showcase. Now, Africa is a continent, not a country, but it's interesting. South Africa and Zambia were interested in being added to the showcase at one time. However, kind of like Poland, Switzerland, and Australia, and some others, unfortunately, it just didn't come to be, so all we have now is the African outpost. So here in Canada, they have the Cellier. It's a great sit-down steak joint, but it will cost you 2 sit-down dinners on your dining plan. Another fun fact about this area, the rocks behind me, during illuminations, those will actually open up with some lights to help project for the show, as well as some lasers. So while you're walking by during illuminations, look up at the rocks and you'll see it's all opened up, it's all magic, it's all behind the scenes. Just had a good beer inside the Rose and Crown. Let's cross the bridge and go over to France.
Hey guys, we're at the ice cream shop here in France. They have 16 artisan flavors. Just beyond the ice cream shop is the boulangerie, where they serve breakfast in the morning as well as French pastries all day long.
France in Epcot, and this is Chefs de France, one of the longest running partnerships here in Epcot. They are actually still the original owners of this restaurant from when Epcot opened, similarly to Japan, which we'll see in just a moment. Okay.
Thank you for joining us for Musique Paramento.
Here we are in Japan at Epcot, where you can hear right now some traditional Japanese drums being played. You can actually see multiple performances throughout the day. This actually has 3 restaurants, table service, 2 sit-downs. The sit-downs are actually one of the longest running partnerships like France. It is by the Mitsukoshi distributor through Japan, and actually their souvenir shop downstairs is the highest grossing in all of Epcot. So check out all the Japanese memorabilia as well as the Japanese gardens. They're extremely beautiful, guys. Here we are at American Adventure on Epcot's World Showcase. It is actually directly across from Innovation, so it is centered on the showcase because, of course, we are in America. Fun facts here about American Adventure. You can actually see a long show that's based on the American Adventure, starring Mark Twain and Benjamin Franklin. It goes through all kinds of different histories of the colonies. Also, right over here is a great little counter service where they have a nice solarium where you can get out of the heat, eat some food, and just cool down in the AC. Also, one last thing to note, if you look at the windows and the doors on this building, they're actually oversized. So that way, from across the lake, it actually only looks like a 2-story building, possibly 3 with the upper deck. But in reality, it's more like 4 or 5 stories because they just want it to be grand because, of course, America, we do things big and better here. But of course, they didn't want it to look overscale. So they made everything bigger, so across the lake, it'll look just the same size as it should. So fun facts here about American Adventure.
As you can see, these doors are way bigger than your average 6 or 8 foot door.
chance while you're in Germany at Epcot, check out the cuckoo clocks. They're really cool, all handmade in Germany.
In Germany, right in front of my favorite place, the Beer Garden, where it's Oktoberfest year-round.
So here we are in China. They actually have the Nine Dragons sit-down restaurant, which has really good, authentic Chinese cuisine. Also, if you take a look around, they have these really nice Chinese gardens with all these lily pads and such. Also, a Chinese reflection temple. So there's a really cool 360-degree show you can see inside, but it's actually taking place inside of a classic Chinese temple. So it's really cool architecture, really cool gardens. Come check it out, guys. China. So one of the neat features of the Maelstrom and the Frozen ride is that it is a log flume like Pirates or Splash Mountain. But what's neat is you actually go reverse at one section. The trolls would usually stop you back in the day and say, go back. But let's take a look to see what we do here at Frozen.
Do you want to build a snowman? Come on, let's go and play.
La Cantina. It is actually a great Mexican counter service if you don't have reservations for the restaurants, you don't want to wait for a table. It is, however, only open for lunch and dinner, so if you're here in the morning, you're going to have to wait till about 11 o'clock to get some of that delicious Mexican food. We are inside of Mexico at the Plaza de Amigos. Of course, it's the interior of Mexico. Like I said, it looks like an outside pavilion in a Mexican square somewhere. There's a lot of cool cultural artifacts as well as authentic Mexican garb. There is the Grand Fiesta Tour with the 3 Caballeros as well as San Angel restaurant. So let's take a look at everything to see. finishes our day up here at Epcot. We saw the showcase, we did a little food and wine, and we saw everything in Future World. So hopefully we'll see you next time.